Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights with 5AD2 District 10.
Ooh-wee. Yes, sir.
Oh, we had all kind of rumbles in the jungles and Motown showdowns. We had it going down.
Yes, sir. Let's cover the first one. First one we want to cover. Who you want to cover?
Well,
Huntsville, Lamar, Consolidated.
Let's go with that because we had a bunch of split decisions, and yeah.
No, we didn't have a bunch of split decisions.
Well, we had 2 split decisions.
Okay.
And that on these 2.
Okay. Lamar and Huntsville. I went with Huntsville for 7. Who won that game? I was 7 Huntsville. And I think I said in overtime.
Yeah, you did. You said overtime, Huntsville. I thought you stepped out, and that was pretty good.
Yeah. Who won that game? What was the total? What was the final score?
12-7. Yeah,
12-7 Huntsville.
12-7 Huntsville. You were right.
All
you
right.
got me. I thought Lamar Consolidated. I really thought.
I thought it was going to be a close game, and they were going to go into overtime.
Yeah, I called it a close game too, but I thought it was going to be like 42-35.
Right. You thought Lamar Consolidated.
Right.
Yeah, no. Because those teams don't score a lot anyway. They averaging 21 and 20 points.
And they really just canceled each other out, and Huntsville took it up by 5.
Lamar Consolidated had, like, your guy McCullough, I think he rushed. Hold on. No? What happened in that game?
In the Huntsville?
Huntsville game. You have the information, the stats on that. Okay.
I didn't look at no Huntsville game.
Well, we didn't look at the stats.
On Huntsville?
Right.
Oh, that's the most important one.
We didn't get the stats. Cut it. We'll get the stats. We'll give them the stats.
Okay.
Cut it.
Okay. The final score was 12-7. I thought the Lamar at first scored.
Huntsville scored first.
And the score was what?
6-0.
6-0. And
Huntsville
then Lamar scored.
And then Lamar scored a 62-yarder.
So it was 6-7.
Rush. Yeah. Then it was 6-7. And then came back in the third quarter, because at halftime it was 7-6. Come third quarter.
So like I said, Lamar was leading and they going into that half.
Yeah, they were leading.
They were
7-6.
But then,
come third quarter, Huntsville
hit him with a 62-yard.
Hit him with a 62-yard.
Kid, what's his name? Simon
Omarui.
Simon Omarui.
Right. Wow. So the total was 12-7.
Yeah,
Huntsville.
we knew it was going to be a small spread. I thought it was going to be a higher game, but you were right. Huntsville did pull it off.
All right.
And the next little game we had was Brenham versus Randle.
Brenham versus Randle. I thought that was going to be a gunslinging shootout. But Leo Garza only passed for 53 yards, and Wooten only passed for 94.
Well, I think Leo must have gone down.
Well, it looks like they had Courtney Brown, the receiver.
Right.
And he passed for two TDs, and he was like 5 for 8 passing. So that means he must have went under center.
Well,
now,
go ahead.
Now, not to cut you off, D. Rubin, the freshman phenom, this kid is super, and we know that.
Right.
He had 15 carries for 21 yards.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Did you say 15 for 21?
15 carries for 21 yards. 21 yards. He was averaging like 1.3 yards a carry.
Well, okay. They just came off a real tough game.
Right.
They're a young team, and they were banged up pretty bad against the line.
Well, D. Rubin hurt his ankle.
Right.
So he probably playing with that low sprain ankle.
Then they have, the younger line.
Right.
And Huntsville traditionally has a very aggressive line.
Right.
So unless you're able to deal with those, it's going to be a long day.
So what was the final score?
The final score was 12-7.
No,
I mean 38-22.
38-22. Brenham.
Yeah, you were right again.
I went for Randle.
We both did.
Yeah, we went for Randle.
So we were both wrong. I needed you to be.
I had No, you're right. I was right again.
See, I was right, you was right.
We went for Brenham 7 by 7. I thought you said we were even, like we were 1 and 1. So yeah, no. I went for Brenham also.
Yeah.
By 7.
Yeah, you got it.
So, but they won by what, 16?
Yeah, they you know, Randle just kind of, I think they slipped away. It was 38-22, so that's 16. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Now Wooden was 11 for 18, 94 yards. He had 4 rushing yards. It looked like he had it was 1 rushing touchdown and I think 4 passing touchdowns. So, you know, that in this district, all the teams pretty even.
yeah.
They all pretty even. There's only one runaway team in this district.
Just looking at, you know, traditionally the stats and everything else, you know, coming up into, you know, our last game that we're going to talk about here. These two things. Number one, I was surprised not by the outcome, but by the gameplay.
Right.
Now, when we're making these predictions, there's a few things we can't predict. We can't predict how the coach is going to choose to approach.
Right, their game plan. We can't.
Right.
Yeah. They do that based on their
Right. But
information,
right.
their team, the matchups, and you know, and now it's a battle of chess.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Right.
a battle of chess.
So, I mean, the two teams, Lake Creek versus Montgomery, the Motown Showdown, right? I expected it to be a complete and utter blowout. And we gave Reggie Williams 2 touchdowns.
Oh my goodness. He was phenomenal.
We gave him 2.
He was phenomenal.
He took 2 more.
He was phenomenal.
Then I think he took 2 more in the air.
First play of the game, he hit Lake Creek for 82 yards. From center. 82 down, and we know he's 4'4". We know he's about 4'4".
It was amazing.
Oh man.
I had the camera right on the kid.
Oh,
so I'm looking directly at it. He just kind of dodges left,
man,
and he just hits the hole, and just all I could see was like, I don't even know what was on his helmet. It looked like flash. He was just
by halftime, they had Lake Creek 34-29.
Yeah.
Tessier, Sam Lee for Lake Creek kept them in the game. Sam Lee had 2 big ones, 46 and a 42 yard. Oh my goodness. One of those plays was highlight reel.
Look, I'm sorry. You know, there's certain players you can talk to me about, and I'm going to be like they walk on water. Sam Lee was one of those guys, hey, look, he can't really do anything wrong with me. And the catches that he makes, the speed that he has, the charisma, the chutzpah. I mean, the kids got it, man.
Man, it was Lake Creek's homecoming, and it was a lot of people. I'm talking
about
their
backs was against the wall.
Oh, their backs was. It wasn't looking good.
No, not at all.
It was looking like a dogfight. It was a dogfight.
It was a dogfight.
Really, I feel like we shouldn't have been in. But unfortunately, that's how matchups work. Well, like we said, by halftime, I think the running back Tavon touched the ball 8 times, may have had less than 100 yards, maybe 80 yards. His average 10 yards.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they were spying on him. Number 17, that Mason White, man, he had 23 tackles for the game.
That guy was
and he left third quarter, I'm sure.
The guy was phenomenal, man.
Unfortunately, we'd like to wish one of the players from Montgomery, the safety, Will McKenzie. He got hurt in the first quarter on a tackle play, just a freak play. Yeah, yes, you know, with all the whatever, the momentum and the weight leaning on his leg. It's either his leg or his hip. He had surgery, and so we wishing him a speedy recovery.
I'm not a physician. I mean, I was doing the video, so again, it was not like something you would expect. He was going in for the tackle, and he was kind of ducked over, and Ty was still coming. You know how he comes. I mean, so he's still coming.
Freight
and
train.
then he's freight training, and he had like I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 guys on him.
Behind him. Yeah.
You know, it was like.
So all that, and the guy was tackling him up front, so he got all that mass, all that, that velocity. It was bad.
Yeah, and we're very, very, very upset about it. I mean, we're very sorry for the kid. You know,
he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
So hopefully he'll have. I heard he went in surgery on Saturday. I want to say he was in surgery.
Yep.
And
he
was in surgery, and hopefully he have a speedy recovery. But back to the game. Now they went into halftime. Down 34-29. I mean, people were on their seats. Here we go. Come out at halftime. What happened?
You know, so Lake Creek received the ball because they won the toss, elected to receive, and they scored. I mean, it was like,
bam,
they scored. And Montgomery was like, and they scored.
Okay.
And Lake Creek was like, bam.
Man, that O-line went crazy. I was watching the footage. That O-line went crazy.
So when I'm saying the bam, 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 that's your point. So in the second half, the O-line, and the first half they were really doing their thing, but in the second half they came out with a vengeance.
Right.
They had an attitude.
Yeah, they kept pounding. So we knew, and I remember you telling me, the second half is totally different. We know Lake Creek can pound.
Right.
They got a lot more in the tank than a lot of the other teams.
That's right.
And Ty Vomba, hats off to your nephew. 4 touchdowns in the third quarter. He had no touchdowns.
In the first half.
And none in the first half. Only probably had 80 yards in the first half. Right. 8 touches. They gave him 22 touches. He finished with 30 touches, 309 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Most of that all got in the second half.
Yeah, it was
third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But I tell you, they played their hearts out. They played their hearts out. Everybody.
The line began not just blocking, they began crushing.
Right.
They begin, doing what they do. Because, I mean, our line is not only strong, we're not freakishly big,
right. But they understand the assignment.
And they can go forever. They're like energized bunnies. So third quarter, they're just as good as they were in the first.
Man, Pushka hit him too in the first quarter. Pushka hit him in the first quarter. What's number 12? Cooper? I don't know. Was it Cooper? I don't know his name. He hit him. Sam Lee killed him. And that kept us in the game.
Some of the things that I saw on both sides of that ball was so tough. I had the hardest. That was the hardest videography game I've ever done in my life.
Well, I can tell you, Reggie Williams got hurt. In the third quarter?
Right.
I think it would have been a little bit different because we put ourselves there. I would have, our game plan probably wasn't the best initially starting off, but come the second half, we punished them. I mean, Coach Kennedy did his thing, his coaching staff, they did their thing. That was an 80 to 55 yard game. Do you know how much total offense they had?
They scored 51 points in the second half.
Total offense, Lake Creek had 752 yards.
Right.
Montgomery had 791 yards. They were over 1,500 yards. Now that puts Lake Creek at 58 points per game scoring. They one of the top in the state.
If you're not comfortable scoring 50 points, don't think about beating Lake Creek.
This team is so underrated. Mark what I'm saying. This team is so underrated. By the end of the year, everybody in the state gonna know who Lake Creek is. Shouts out to Lake Creek. Y'all played a hell of a game.
And shouts out to Montgomery Bears. That was a phenomenal performance that I didn't expect. Well, I expected that Lake Creek could not stop Reggie from scoring twice.
Well, we said 2 touchdowns. He good for 2 touchdowns.
But he doubled that. What do you mean he's good?
Yeah,
He doubled that and then put 2 in the air.
Right.
The kid is just something else.
Right. Well, he, Like we said, shouts out.
Shouts out.
And as we say every show, numbers don't lie. People do. Peace.